Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stocks All Day with Dr. O'Day. This is my $1,000 journey, here with an update. So here I just want to draw all of your attention to a couple of trades that I've made in the past 24 hours. So the first was that I sold my Ethereum here. So Ethereum I had bought on 11/27. This was my first crypto purchase and hopefully my last. It's very volatile. I hate that you can't put stop orders on it. Or stop loss orders on it, and I just didn't love being in it. But I did make a decent chunk of money, and the reason that I had bought this, you can look back at my previous videos, was that this had hit the 50% support level on the Fibonacci retracement. And so I bought in, and sure enough, Ethereum shot back up. So I paid $517.58 for one share. That made my total investment $517.58. I sold this for $600 overnight. I had set a limit sell at $600 because, this had jumped up to about $624, $630 at one point in the last few days, but it just was fluctuating so much. I was looking at the news surrounding it. I was looking at some of the levels, and I just decided that this was probably going to continue to fluctuate right around 600, with a possibility of it jumping all the way back down to maybe as low as 520 in the short term. So I'll continue to monitor Ethereum. It might be another buy at some point, but I was happy to get out with my almost 16% gained there. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a green. I gained 16% there. I'll go ahead and make this one where I lost a little bit on my trade of Shopify, negative 1.79%, which was only $4. But here I made an additional $82 on my $517 investment. So this brings my account value, once you factor in these last couple trades that I've made, I'm sitting at about a 28.5% increase throughout the month of November. I started trading on November 4th. It's now December 2nd, and I have a $285.76 gain. As of right now, a couple of updates on my other stocks. So Apple, I had bought a couple days ago, is currently up at least a couple percent. Tractor Supply, which I bought yesterday, is fluctuating right around where I bought it, slightly up it seems like. But then my other purchase was NVDA. So I've always loved NVIDIA. I love their graphics cards. I think they're a great company. A couple things about NVIDIA is they have a pretty good profit margin. Their earnings per share is moderate. It seems like they're pretty well valued right now. A couple other things about NVIDIA is that they have fairly low debt, and a pretty good equity. They have a pretty great return on their equity, and they've had great growth this year, and I expect that growth is going to continue through the holiday season. They've experienced a little bit of a dip in the last couple days, but I think that NVIDIA is going to continue to go up, and I'm going to show you kind of why according to my matrices. So here are our kind of charts with regard to NVIDIA. One of the things that I don't love is that, Yahoo Finance is saying in the short and midterm this is going to be a little bit of a bearish stock. So I am a little bit more concerned with this buy. I've actually set my stop loss at right around $500. And so we'll see what happens here. I might end up losing a little bit of money on this one, but I like NVIDIA. I think that it's a pretty good buy. What I noticed was the last time that we had two buy signals was right here. That was on 11.3 into 11.5, and that didn't really pan out. It went up slightly, but then dropped down and signaled, a double sell signal. Right here at the end, we're starting to see a couple of buy signals. I'm taking that as a crossover, even if it's not a great crossover. And what might happen is we see just a little pittering around this line, and if so, I'll go ahead and sell it in the next few days if that continues to happen. But I think that there's some upside here. So if we look at NVIDIA, we've seen pretty steady growth all year. And if I just kind of draw out a couple of lines here, so I'm going to draw out a line kind of just connecting through a lot of these points, we've had pretty good uptrend, at least on the downside of this, where the bottoms of those are hovering right around this line, and I expect that that's probably going to continue. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put a line in here. I'm going to do a horizontal line right at 500 if I can get there. Close enough at 499.88. So that is my stop loss line. I'm going to go ahead and make that a red line there. And so what we're kind of seeing there is that's where my stop loss is, but I don't really think it's going to go much below this kind of bluish purple line there. In fact, what I think is probably the more likely to happen is that we're going to start seeing a little bit of growth almost along this purple line, and what I'm expecting that to kind of do is I'm expecting that to continue to converge up here, and then maybe even once we hit that line, it might even blast a little bit past it, in which case we're looking really good. But that line is right at about $580. So let's go ahead and see what my sell price per share according to my strategy would be. So let's remember 580.82 is right around where that line is. And what we're seeing is that my sell price per share here on NVDA is going to be, oh, sorry, 562.86. And so that 562.86, that 6% growth is pretty comfortably in that margin. In fact, it's actually, I might even be underestimating it. And what happens is if we see this similar growth pattern, we're going to pretty easily hit that 6% growth here in the next little bit. And I'll keep you updated, and I'll let you know if that actually happens. Thank you all for checking back in. As always, this is not to be taken as actual stock trading advice. This is just my $1,000 journey. If you would like to follow along, you're more than welcome to. If you would like to invest, you're more than welcome to, but make sure you do so at your own risk. I would really appreciate you all liking and subscribing and letting me know if there's any content that you'd like to see coming up.